A new year, new round of medical questions for a doctor that's pretty familiar to us. Dr. Amy Cobb joining us now for Doc Talk from University Health. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here.
Happy New Year.
So, New Year, a lot of people make New Year's resolutions, so many things focused on health. So first question for you is, what is the science around forming and keeping a new health habit?
Yeah, so the first one I would say is it needs to be specific. I ask patients all the time, what are your health goals right now? And they go, well, lose weight. I say, ask them how, and they say, eat better, right? But we need to be more specific. So an example of a good goal might be, I'm going to cook one new recipe every week, or I'm not going to eat out more than once a week. Or for exercise, I'm going to do 20 minutes of strength building twice a week. Because that brings me to the next tip, which is to track it, right? If we don't have a measurable goal, how are you going to know whether you're achieving it? And so this can be as simple as a calendar where you just give yourself a check. There are all kinds of app trackers you can get on your phone. You can even use something like a Google spreadsheet and share it with friends, which brings me to number 3, which is accountability. This is actually the #1 predictor of if you'll keep a good habit, is if you have accountability. And you can make it even more interesting by linking it with like a promise and a consequence. So an example of this might be, this is actually a real one I did one time, is I wanted to get more sleep, and so I set a bedtime, and I said, if I don't make it to bed by my bedtime, then I'm going to donate $10 to dementia research, because I know I'm going to need that research later on, so I'm not resting, right? So you can gamify it and make it fun. That's really fun for accountability partners as well. Another fun one, this isn't health related, but I wanted to declutter my home. And so I said, if I didn't donate one thing or get rid of one thing in my house every week, I'd take a picture of the most cluttered part of my house and show it to my mother-in-law. And you better believe, like I did it, right?
Yeah.
And so you can have a lot of fun with this. And then my last tip would be, I want people to really reflect on how they feel after they do the habit, right? Like most of us don't want to work out before we do, but afterwards we feel amazing.
Right.
And so that's how we build on our habits, is if we take that moment to reflect and like, how has this impacted me? How do I feel now?
I like the mother-in-law accountability.
Yeah, there you go.
I have to work that in there. All right. So we know that exercise is great for fighting aging and dementia, like you said.
Right.
What is the science around basically what are the best exercises to combat aging?
Yeah, so the #1 is actually strength building exercises or power exercises, which I was surprised when I heard this for the first time. And the thing I think you should know is that there's something called sarcopenia. We talk about osteopenia, which is loss of bone strength, but we also lose muscle mass starting in our mid-30s at a rate of 1% to 2% a year. And then that accelerates to about 3% a year when we're in our 60s and 70s. And so by doing that strength training, we're doing a few things. One is when we have more muscle mass, we burn more calories, which helps us maintain our healthy weight. But the other thing is if we have power in our muscles and we miss a step on the sidewalk, we can rebalance ourselves, prevent falls. It just has so many impacts on our insulin sensitivity, preventing diabetes, keeping our joints moving, all of those things.
Yeah.
The second one we've mentioned on this segment a few times, which is cardiovascular exercise. I think Dr. Lopez and I both have mentioned the 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity, per week. You can shorten that to 75 minutes per week if you're doing high intensity exercise. So a quick check for this would be, if you're able to sing, it's low intensity. If you're able to talk, it's moderate. And if you have trouble talking, you're kind of breathless, that's probably high intensity. But there's actually 2 other kinds of exercise for aging that I would call out. One is flexibility training. And you can work that into the end of your strength or your cardio, just a few minutes at the end to strengthen and lengthen those, or to stretch and lengthen those muscles. And then stability work for aging about twice a week. So this would be work on one leg where you're really working your core. Your thighs, your buttocks, all that area. That's again going to help you with falls, because falling is, can have a lot of ramifications as we get older.
Yeah, mobility is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, another question that's timely right now. What should people know about the discontinuation of the brand name Flovent inhaler?
Yeah, so Flovent inhaler is commonly used for chronic lung diseases. We think about COPD, and we use it a lot for asthma as well. And it actually went off the market on January 1st. And so it's bad timing for a lot of patients because this is flu, RSV, and COVID season, as we've been discussing. And this is a time when people's chronic lung diseases can be flaring. So it's very important that if you are on Flovent, that you talk to your doctor to figure out what you can switch to. There is a generic version made by the same company, but it's not covered by all the insurances, so you might actually have to switch to a different medication.
Oh, wow. Okay, so something to keep in mind if you have to talk to your doctor, have those conversations.
Right.
All right. Viewer question now. How common is hypolordosis and what are some symptoms as well as treatments for it? First off, what is hypolordosis and am I saying it right?
You said it beautifully.
Okay, good.
So the back, if you look at it from the side, should have like a gentle S-shaped curve, okay? Because there's 3 parts. It's the cervical, thoracic, and then lumbar spine. So hypo, this is a Greek suffix. It means under. Lordos means curvature, and then osis means disease. So it's like a lack of curvature in your spine, or like a very straight back. I don't have a good number for the prevalence of how often this comes up, but we probably would underdiagnose it anyway because it's not commonly screened for. But the symptoms would be pain and fatigue in your back, maybe feeling like you're kind of hunched forward, feeling off balance. And the main things are going to be exercises, physical therapy, stretching. For the muscle fatigue, you could also consider massage, heat, or seeing a practitioner such as an OMM, which is osteopathic manipulative medicine doctor, who maybe could do some manipulations to try and relieve some pain.
Okay. Next question from a viewer. This one is about a vaccine. This viewer writes, I am compromised without a spleen. Do I need to get a booster meningitis vaccine?
Yeah, the short answer is yes. So the spleen is very important to fight types of bacteria called encapsulated bacteria, which are ones who have this extra protective layer around them. And some examples would be Neisseria meningitidis, which causes meningitis, but also Streptococcus pneumoniae, Haemophilus influenza type B. And so what the spleen does is it creates these special cells. They're called phagocytes, and they're like Pac-Man that go and like eat these encapsulated bacteria. And without it, you're at risk of very severe infections. So if you don't have a functioning spleen, either because you were in an accident and the spleen started to bleed and they had to remove it, or maybe you have a medical condition where your spleen's in your body but it doesn't work. That would be like sickle cell anemia or HIV. You want to get the pneumonia vaccine and the HIB, the Haemophilus influenza type B vaccine, like as soon as you're diagnosed with a spleen problem. And then you have to get your meningitis series with boosters every few years. It gets confusing because there's 3 different meningitis vaccines, but there are regular boosters. They're about every 2 to 3 years for one type of vaccine, every 5 for another.
Yeah, wanted to remind everybody out there, it's our segment, but we want your questions. Here's our QR code we're going to put on the screen right now. If you have a question for our doctors, we're going to ask them. Just give it to us. Just scan this QR code to submit your questions to us right here at KSAT.
Every Thursday right here at 6:30. Dr. Cobb, thanks so much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Good to see
We'll
you.
see you next time.
Good to see you.
We'll be right back.
Winter weather expected to wallop both coasts in the days ahead. Several parts of California digging and driving out of several inches that have fallen since Wednesday.
As Laura Aguirre reports, parts of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic are bracing for snow, rain, and potentially damaging winds through the weekend.
We've been waiting for the snow to come, so for it to start dumping like it is right now, we are just overjoyed.
Some residents are happy for a snow day or two in the higher elevation counties northeast of Los Angeles, widely blanketed in snow that started falling Wednesday. While neighbors to their north in the Sierra Nevada mountains saw up to 15 inches of snowfall in some areas. For one ski resort employee, the notable accumulation after a relatively mild winter so far was a welcome sight.
It's definitely good weather for skiers and snowboarders.
Winter weather alerts and storm warnings now pepper the Four Corners region through Friday. That's Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico, according to the National Weather Service. Some of those areas could get over a foot of snow, while parts of the southern and central plains could see up to 5 inches through Friday afternoon. The weekend will see severe winter weather rolling through the Northeast. Forecasters say parts of Pennsylvania, New York, and New England could be in for their first significant snowfall of the season. It may be southern New York's first brush with snow this winter, but folks upstate near Buffalo have already had to use their shovels in recent weeks after a winter storm around Thanksgiving. The snowy weather is expected to hang over parts of the Northeast through Sunday. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
So seeing all that snow, does that make you wish we lived in a snowy region?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Just curious.
But ask our weather.
No, live? No. Just go visit every so often.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun and easier to visit. We don't have to live in it.
Right.
Did that for long enough. I was like, what? It's harder than
A few days
it's
compared to a few months. Yeah.
And the worst is spring when it all melts. Everything's muddy outside constantly.
yeah.
Ugh. Okay. We've got a little bit of muddiness and dampness coming our way. Already some drizzle out there tonight. Areas of light rain, 60% coverage. And even if you don't get the light showers, you'll still have drizzle and dampness tonight. Tomorrow morning, we start the day at 48 degrees, so not a big temperature drop compared to what we have out there right now at 54. Hey, I've got another thermometer winner coming up, and we'll talk about the drought monitor along with the future cast on top of it and what we're actually above average in so far this year. I know that says a lot. Coming right up.
Drought monitor and thermometer Thursday.
And we have rain in some parts of the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. It's good. We're all back together and we're back at it. It's good to see and have all of this. Let's get right to it. And there really isn't much to show on Authority radar. A few little blotches of light green, and that's about it. It's not any real rain out there, just some drizzle and sprinkles. Now, we are below average for meteorological winter in terms of rainfall. December 1st is the start of meteorological winter. We've had 1.83 inches, and that's almost a half inch below average. But so far for the year, since January 1st, we're about a half inch above average. If only we could keep that trend going. Well, what are we, 4 days in? It's something. It's something. It's a start. Let's be positive. That's the way I see it. Here's the latest drought monitor, and just under 40% of the state is considered in drought. And the worst, of course, is right over our area, up and down I-35 and Austin to San Antonio in the Hill Country. But I want to put something else on top of it, the future cast. And I'm going to let this play through a couple of times. Notice how we've got a round of light rain tonight. And then our next system comes in, bringing areas of snow to drought-stricken Arizona and New Mexico, and then another round of rain to parts of Texas, but mostly east of I-35 as we get into Monday of next week. I'm going to play this out for you one more time. Drought monitor on the bottom, the future cast cycling through. We're going to be dry tomorrow and over the weekend, and then Monday that next system hits us. So we're going to see some moisture, some needed rain, but unfortunately not in our neck of the woods. That next system is coming in from Alaska, actually. It's going to be dropping into the lower 48 over the weekend, and then it makes it here by early Monday and affects us Monday into Tuesday. As for our rain chances right now, overnight tonight, drizzle, dampness, and light showers, 60% coverage through 2 a.m., and then the rain chances really fall off. With this system here, the counterclockwise circulation that you see over New Mexico, areas of snow in the higher elevations, New Mexico, and even the panhandle of Texas getting in on some snow, 2 to 6 inches in the northern panhandle, Amarillo northward, including the Dalhart area. How about that? It's not going to last very long, but they'll get clipped by that snow now. And as we go through our night to night, the rain's going to become a little more widespread, mainly light in nature, but a few moderate showers could pop up. Not expecting the rumbles of thunder that we had the other day on Tuesday, but some moderate showers are possible. And where we have the moderate showers develop, that's where we could also have some slightly higher accumulations. I think most of us a few tenths of an inch, but a quarter to an inch or slightly more possible within the moderate rain. And then notice at sunrise tomorrow, showers lingering a little bit heavier east of town, Hallettsville, Cuero, Karnes City, and eastward. But locally, San Antonio, surrounding areas, we're dry and we'll get into a lot of sunshine pretty quickly, I think, tomorrow. We'll start the day with some of those clouds early at 48. Then we're sunny and 67 by the afternoon, turning breezy as well. A west wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. This weekend, some chilly mornings in the upper 30s. Then by the afternoons, we're well into the 60s, so not bad. Some cool mornings, but great afternoons. Hey, Monday evening through Tuesday, we could see some wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour with that next wound up system. Might be time to make it anemometer Thursday at that point. Measures wind speed.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
In case you didn't know.
Got it.
So I got a little aggressive this year. I've got some extra thermometer ornaments. Time to give a few more away, right? You get an ornament, you get an ornament, you get an ornament. Leslie Mitchell of Converse, you get a thermometer ornament. See, most of us haven't put our Christmas stuff away yet, so you still have time to put it away or hang it up on the wall and then put it on the tree for next year. I just finished up 9 big, the normal size Texas thermometers. I'm getting those to the engraver and I'll have those ready to go by by next week. KSAT12.com/thermometer. This is the year of the thermometer, 2024.
Got any more anemometer jokes for us? Because that first one was really funny.
We got to go to break.
We're so glad you're back, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
To the Buzz and Sweethearts has something special for those who are single this Valentine's Day. The heart-shaped candies company releasing limited edition situationship boxes as the perfect gift for those not in a relationship during the Valentine's Day holiday.
So these look a little off, right? Well, here's why. The boxes are filled with hearts with blurry misprint, or what Sweethearts is calling, quote, sweet muddled nothings and literal mixed messages to capture what singles are dealing with. The special Valentine's treats will be available for purchase on sweetheartscandies.com beginning on Monday.
I didn't realize Sweethearts was as divisive a subject on this anchor desk as it is.
I think they are gross.
I think they're fine.
You think they're fine?
Yeah.
Oh, you said good earlier.
They're good. No, good. Fine.
Okay. This could also be a divisive subject.
Okay.
Renowned Naples pizza maestro Gino Sorbio has done the unthinkable, breaking one of Italy's most important unwritten rules. He added pineapple to the menu at his restaurant on Via dei Tribunali. That is the best-known pizza street in the world. But this isn't just your regular Hawaiian.
Yeah, it's called a pizza bianca, meaning it has no tomato base. Or is it pizza blanca? It's probably that one.
Probably.
Has no tomato base, sprinkled with 3 types of cheese with the pineapple cooked twice for a caramelized taste. Sorbio said he created it to combat food prejudice. It's creating quite the stir in Italy, though. It's been discussed on national television, and no surprise here, this new pizza's been bashed on social media.
People were outspoken and feisty on social media.
Hard to believe.
Wow. Okay. We'll be right back.